Today we will claim Dongxing and bury the Wu forces.
Yes, sir! For you, General, we would give our very lives!
Lord Sima Zhao does not appreciate the gravity of the situation. He is so different to his cool, calculating brother. I must prepare for battle.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Night Owl channel. Welcome back to the series where we're counting down the top Dynasty Warriors characters as of the latest game. Coming in at number 68, we have Zhuge Dan, an officer of the Jin Kingdom. And before we go over how he's changed over the last few games, let's take a look at the popularity poll to see why he's down here at 68. In the first popularity poll, he receives 298 votes out of a total of 75,000, putting him at the 72nd spot. And then the second popularity poll, he jumps up to the 58th spot. And then in my personal rankings, he's up at the 54th spot. And the only reason he's up a little higher on my rankings versus the other ones is because the people below him are either characters I don't play as much or I particularly don't like, I guess, as much as Zhuge Dan. Zhuge Dan's not a favorite of mine or anything like that. So Zhuge Dan has been in the series since Dynasty Warriors 7. He was added along with the Jin Kingdom to become one of the first playable characters on the Jin Kingdom. And he's been in the game ever since. So before we jump into his changes from Dynasty Warriors 7 till now, let's go over a little background and personality for people who don't know who Zhuge Dan is. According to Zhuge Dan's wiki page, Zhuge Dan may or may not be Zhuge Liang and Zhuge Jin's cousin, sometimes being argued as Zhuge Liang's younger brother or someone from an unrelated branch of the Zhuge family. He is one of the main Wei retainers who rebelled against Sima Zhao, and his death dealt a deafening blow to the South's family influence over Wei's retainer. The Koei page, the wiki page, describes his personality as being proud of his family's reputation for intelligence, and he thinks of himself worthy to be of the same ilk. He tries to act as an assertive and wise individual at times, and he is indeed talented in concocting reasonable strategies and possesses natural leadership. His brilliance, however, is overshadowed by his impatience, and his eagerness to act on his decisions clouds him from rethinking his steps and severely narrows his focus. He neglects to consider alternations or consequences of his plans, and when the epiphany finally dawns on him, it's often too late for him to do anything about it and causes him to react with nervousness or anger. I think Zhang Hui describes his personality really well in one of the scenes in Dynasty Warriors 9.
Master Zhuge Dan is disturbingly fragile. That's what comes of being overly devoted to Master Sima Shi.
I think that's a perfect summary of his personality and how he changes, because he goes from pretty much a really calm and following along with what Sima Shi, pretty much Sima Shi says, and then once Sima Shi passes away and it's just a big mess Zhuge Dan gets himself into, and he ends up getting himself killed because of it. So we're going to go through all that in just a second here, but for my personal opinions on his personality, I think Zhuge Dan is kind of like a narcissist in a sense. It's maybe not like a narcissist, but he has hints of narcissism along with this constant need for approval from Sima Shi. I guess the best thing to start off with would be his relationships, because it won't make sense unless I explain this. So for people who don't know, Zhuge Dan is he holds Sima Shi in high regards. He really looks up to him and puts him on a pedestal, and whatever he says, he's at Sima Shi's beck and call. He's basically, Sima Zhao explains pretty well, he's basically his lapdog.
Hope Zhuge Dan's going to be okay. It's one thing to be devoted, but it's another to be my brother's lapdog.
And because of this, he blindly follows Sima Shi and whatever he does, and I guess this will be the best time to really go over in depth of why he's so enamored with Sima Shi. Dynasty Warriors 8 does a good job of depicting it when I guess Sima Shi is talking to Zhuge Dan, or Zhuge Dan saying something along the lines of my family name has been ruined, or his honor or something, and then Sima Shi basically is why are you so wrapped up on your name? It's not going to be your name that carries you to honor, it'll be your actions and stuff like that.
Zhuge Dan, what specter are you looking at?
What?
What does blood mean? What do names mean? These things cannot hone your talent. A warrior lives by nothing but his own skills. The same goes for me. Those obsessed by their birth end up like that man. Come, we're leaving.
And then from then on out, he's very attached to Sima Shi. He likes the way he, runs the kingdom and runs the empire and stuff like that. He likes how cool and calculating he is. He makes his decision very quickly. And then when Sima Shi passes away, he doesn't take the news very well first. And then second, his brother, Sima Zhao, is the complete opposite of Sima Shi. He's not calculating. He's not, he's not cool. According to Zhuge Dan, he's not cool. He's not calculating. He's very laid back. He's, go with the flow kind of guy. And you can see the frustration in Zhuge Dan with a lot of his events with Sima Zhao, a lot of his, interactions with him. He's always getting upset. He's always getting angry because he can't make a decision.
Mr. Sima Zhao, our kingdom is in crisis, and you would indulge in such leisurely debate? Your brother would be decisive and lead us to the light.
So this irrational anger is basically what leads to Zhuge Dan rebelling against the kingdom that he fought so hard to, with Sima Shi and keeping, all this. He rebels against it after being appointed commander of the East, because again, I have to go back to this narcissistic kind of personality that he has. And it's evident in Dynasty Warriors 9 when Sima Shi is talking to Sima Zhao, and he's basically saying, I need you for this battle. I need to rely on you, stuff like that. And then Zhuge Dan's like, hey, what about me? Do you have anything for me?
Zhao, I am counting on you. I won't let you down. Master Sima Shi, have you any words for me?
And then later on, when Sima Shi passes away, Zhuge Dan's he's offering assistance for one of the other generals. I think it was Deng Ai who was going to battle, and he needed help. And he asked Sima Zhao to come, but he couldn't because he was ordered to stay in the capital. So Zhuge Dan was like, I'll go instead. I'll come help you. And then Zhang Hui, the same guy who, basically described his personality pretty well, he challenged him on it. He was like, hey, man, you're not very reliable kind of thing because of the way your personality is.
Then why not allow me to go in your stead? I will head for Luo Yong and provide assistance to Master Deng Ai from the rear.
I suppose so.
Master Zhuge Dan, with all due respect, Master Sima Zhao is who we are asking for. You lose your head at the slightest provocation, and with it the ability to make the simplest decision. It's hard to say whether you would be any help at all.
And Zhuge Dan did not like that at all. And then afterwards, when Zhang Hui left, Sima Zhao gives Zhuge Dan command of the entire eastern side of the Wei Kingdom, the Wei Empire. So it's kind of like, because the way he responds to it is kind of like, oh, it's such an honor that you can only trust me to do it. That kind of gave me the feeling of like, again, with the Sima Shi incident, he's looking for that, give me a special, unique assignment that nobody else can handle because, I am worthy of it. Nobody else can match me of that. Kind of like that narcissistic, prideful almost in a sense. It's very hard to explain it, but it definitely comes across like that, and that's why he's not really one of my favorites. The only reason he's up so high is because of his weapon style in Dynasty Warriors 8. That is probably it. It's like one of the most fun styles I've ever played. I love the short baton, and as we go through his weapons in a little bit here, I'll explain more into it, but I hate the way his personality is. His anger controls him, and he's very like dependent, like very approval seeking, and I just don't like the way his character is. And that's probably why he didn't do so well in the polls as well. I'm assuming that's why it is. Because the character itself, he doesn't look that bad. I think the character actually looks really cool. I think Dynasty Warriors 7 is his best looking character. I think this, the armor and stuff they give him, it looks pretty slick. But I think his personality is his downfall. And that's the way the directors made him. So this is, that's just the way he was. So with that being said, I'm just going to summarize here real quick. So Sima Shi was Sima Zhao's older brother, and Zhuge Dan looked up to him. He was obsessed with pleasing him and doing whatever Sima Shi asked of him and all this other stuff. He kind of reminds me of Freed from the anime Fairy Tail, the way Freed is towards this other character named Loxus.
What is that supposed to mean? What the hell? I was hoping for some quiet.
I'd be happy to scrub your back for you.
Huh? Sure, why not?
I won't let you down. My, your back seems a bit stiff, sir. Shall I massage you as well?
Whatever, man. Get every last inch of my body, too.
You can count on me, sir.
That's the relationship I believe that Zhuge Dan envisions with Sima Shi. That's kind of how I see it. And then with Sima Zhao, I don't know if I would say he hates him, but he definitely doesn't like him, and he also, blames him for a lot of things that go wrong with him. And then of course when Sima Shi gets hurt for rescuing Sima Zhao, he also blames him for that and stuff like that. But every other relationship he has is kind of minor. So let's go ahead and jump into how he's changed as a character and all that good stuff. Let's start off with his weapon style, because that's what I was talking about before. So in Dynasty Warriors 7 and 9, he has the fan, and it's the same style that Zhuge Liang and Sima Yi has, which is a little weird to me, honestly. I don't, you have Zhuge Liang and you have Sima Yi, high caliber strategist, and then you have Zhuge Dan with a fan as well. I don't know if I would put him in the same category as those two, but he has a fan in Dynasty Warriors 7, Dynasty Warriors 9. It's an okay style. I don't really have much to complain about it, and I think it's it's all right. The Moveset attacks he has in all three games are exactly the same, except for Dynasty Warriors 9. He has like these guys come out and they like hit the people in front of him. He calls upon them or something like that. But in Dynasty Warriors 8, he gets the short rod, which is the best weapon that I think he should, they should just keep him with it. That is the best, one of the most fun weapons I've ever played with. It's so cool with the little animations when you use the short rods and stuff like that. Of course, I think the 5th hit style, he throws him up in the air and catches him by the head and then throws him on the ground. It's a little, it's a little like aggressive and kind of like a muscly type move for someone like Zhuge Dan. He's kind of small. But the short rod is the best weapon for Zhuge Dan. If they have the ability to go back to unique weapons, I hope they give him the short rod, because that style was extremely fun to play as. Just the animations and, flipping them around and shoving them forward with the rod. I mean, it was a pretty fun style to play as, and I definitely recommend Zhuge Dan having the rod over the fan. But let's go over his appearance now. So like I said, I genuinely like his appearance. I think he's one of the cooler looking characters of the Jin Kingdom, of like the new people that were added to the game. I think he looks pretty cool. He looks very, very assertive and like, dominant and like a good leader type and stuff like that. And then, his personality just throws it all off. But his appearance looks pretty good. I like the Dynasty Warriors 7 one. I think that's the best outfit that he has. So now let's quickly go over his voice acting. And I don't have any complaints about his voice acting. I think they're both, or all three games are just fine. He has the same one in Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8, and then he has a different one in Dynasty Warriors 9. Fun fact about the guy who did it in Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8, he's done a lot of voice acting work, but the most notable ones, to me at least, he did Kimimaro in Naruto, and he did the Deep Sea King from One Punch Man. And then a couple of notable video games he's done. He did Dead or Alive 6, which came out last year. He did the voice of Zack. And he also did the voice of Zasalamel from Soul Calibur, which is a game I used to play a ton of. And then he also voices Pang Day in Dynasty Warriors 7 as well, which is pretty cool to see. So we're going to, of course, revisit him when we get to Pang Day. But a lot of talent with his voice. Don't have any complaints about Zhuge Dan's voice at all. It's just fun. So now let's finish up with Zhuge Dan's death. In Dynasty Warriors 7, 8, and 9 basically revolve all around the exact same thing. Of when he rebels and he gets captured, and of course he gets executed. And Dynasty Warriors 8 was the only game that they show his execution. Dynasty Warriors 7 and 9, I don't believe they do it. Dynasty Warriors 9, he's taken away. In Dynasty Warriors 7, they don't show the death scene. I think it's like you fight him and then they kind of like, it kind of cuts off and then they explain it with text. So Dynasty Warriors 8 was the only one. I think Jia Shang actually hits him with an axe and he ends up executing him right then and there.
Zhuge Dan.
Come on! Kill me! I could never walk the same path as you!
I see. Your Highness, I have failed you. Highness?
And the reason he does that is because it was playing into why Zhuge Dan rebelled in the first place. And I guess what happened was he was sent a letter from the Emperor.
My lord, this is for you.
This is from the Emperor? My path, it is clear. I shall stake everything I have on defeating Sima Zhao
and saving Wei.
To, you know, start a rebellion and rebuild Wei and stuff like that. So he joined forces with Wu, with somebody who already performed a rebellion and failed, and Wen Qin. And then in Dynasty Warriors 7, they have Zhuge Dan killing Wen Qin.
We must conserve supplies and release all non-personnel from within the castle.
You would actually be so cruel as to hand over our loyal followers to those monsters?
Sima Zhao has shown mercy to those who surrender. It is you who are hurting our people by starving them.
Silence!
You have lost your grip. Sima Zhao has proven the greater man.
Silence!
And that's actually what causes this rebellion to kind of like shatter a little bit, because, you know, you have the two leaders of the rebellion and then one of them kills the other one. You know, the soldiers underneath him aren't going to be too happy about that, and especially the son, like Wen Yang, who's another playable character of the Jin Kingdom, and I'll get to him a little later. He actually ends up leaving because of that, and he ends up going to the Jin Kingdom because of that. So it was pretty crazy. And then he gets captured, and he talks to Sima Zhao, and he's like, "Well, I was sent this message from the Emperor. He told me to do it," and he ends up being easily manipulated by him because of, again of how fragile his personality was and how easily manipulated he was after Sima Shi's dead. Because after the death of Sima Shi, I think that's when Zhuge Dan starts to go down as a character, personality-wise. But that's all I really have for Zhuge Dan here. He was an interesting character to play as. Dynasty Warriors 9, I really enjoyed his story. I like to see when he first joined, he was very cool, calm, collected, and of course he had that weird relationship with Sima Shi, which I don't think Sima Shi really noticed. He was just kind of like, yeah, help me out or whatever the task was or something like that. But then he kind of goes downhill a little bit when Sima Shi gets injured and of course passes away, and then he has to take orders from Sima Zhao, and I don't particularly think he hates him. He just didn't like Sima Zhao, even though Sima Zhao, tried to put him in a high regard. Again, to, I think, feed the narcissism and perhaps, low self-esteem and insecurity that Zhuge Dan had himself. And that's why, I think that's what Sima Zhao was doing. He was trying to like, hey man, I'm gonna make you the commander of the entire eastern side. Just have my back, just stay with us kind of thing. Sima Zhao was very benevolent when it came to other officers, even people who weren't even in his ranks. I mean, he would take people in that were surrendering and stuff like that. So it was just interesting to see how Zhuge Dan's story played out. But that's pretty much it. That's, again, all I have for Zhuge Dan. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions at all about Zhuge Dan, let me know. But again, that's all I have for him. And I will see you guys in the next episode for number 67. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.